One of the most debated topics of today is the legalization of marijuana for both medicinal and recreational purposes. There are many advantages and some disadvantages, but today we're going to talk about how the pros outweigh the cons. With these advantages, today we're going to talk about the medical advantages, the economic boost it could provide, and how there could be better regulations and safer use. Opponents may suggest that the drug is too addictive or it may cause accidents and problems due to causing people to become high. What they fail to acknowledge is all of the advantages that we are going to talk about today. Let's start with the medical advantages. Dating all the way back to the 1790s, medical marijuana was first used for pain relief and sedation. And now, according to Investopedia, there are currently 37 states that allow for medical cannabis products, and 21 of these states allow for THC products. Since over half of the United States already allows for medical marijuana, it only makes sense that it would be legalized nationally. With medical marijuana, there are many advantages from the mental to physical health. Starting with mental health, it is used for its psychoactive effects, this meaning it can affect your mind while changing your mood and helping you become more calm or relaxed. According to the University of Washington, many people use medical marijuana to help with anxiety. In a study they did with 1,749 patients at evaluation clinics in California, 37.8% found relief in anxiety, 16.9% found relief in panic attacks, and 55.1% of people were more relaxed overall. This shows that a significant amount of people get mental health relief from marijuana use. Outside of the mental health uses, it is also used for many other things. These include glaucoma, multiple sclerosis, cancer, neuropathic and chronic pain, and HIV. On top of all of this, there are many side effects and symptoms of diseases that also find relief from marijuana use. An example of this is many chemotherapy drugs cause vomiting and nausea that the drug can help. With all of this shows that medical marijuana should be legalized within the United States. So why not legalize marijuana for just medicinal purposes? The answer is simple. There are so many other advantages outside of the medical ones. So let's talk about how legalizing marijuana would provide an economic boost to our economy. According to the New York Times, the U.S. economy is in a weird place right now. The job growth is slowing, but the demand for workers is high. There's not one single thing that can fix our economic problems, but legalizing marijuana could be a start. Let's first take a look on how legalizing marijuana would affect jobs. According to Investopedia, legalizing marijuana for recreational use would support over 41,000 jobs in Nevada and 81,000 jobs in California. These jobs include farming, processing, distribution, and selling of marijuana products. On top of a job increase, there would also be an increase in tax revenue. Marijuana is a very highly taxed crop, and it is already paying off in many states. In Colorado in 2021, they collected over $400 million in tax revenue, while in Washington this was up to even more at over $550 million. In this same year, there was a combined collected tax revenue from each state with legalized marijuana that rounded out to be over $3.7 billion. On top of the increase in job and tax revenue, legalizing marijuana would save time and money in the judicial and executive branches. These branches help enforce and carry out the current laws on marijuana, which in many states is still illegal. According to Boise State, there were over 600,000 arrests in 2018 due to just marijuana possession charges. And when incarcerated, they said it cost $30,000 to $35,000 per year per inmate. That's a lot. So with these three economic improvements, it is due to just one thing, and that's legalizing marijuana. There's already been economic growth from state to state, so it only makes sense to further this growth on a national level. Let's now take a look into how legalizing marijuana would make marijuana use safer. At the end of the day, if someone wants to use marijuana, they're going to do it whether it is legal or not. So it only makes sense to legalize it for the safety of the 48.2 million people that the CDC said use marijuana at least once in 2019. So how does it really make it safer? It's pretty simple. There can now be regulations that would make not only the drug safer to use, but safer to get, as drug violence would lower. In a state where marijuana is currently illegal, what happens if someone buys a drug from someone who buys it from places off the black market? With this, you don't know exactly what you're getting. Without knowing exactly what you're getting, you get something that, for example, is laced with fentanyl. If we were to legalize marijuana, there are already regulations put in place in many states that can now be put in place across the entire United States. This would eliminate the need to go to dealers, as there would now be dispensaries that are safe and legal to go to. This would help lower the drug violence and drug trafficking that takes place within many communities. And Boise State backs this up by saying that legalizing marijuana would reduce the power to the drug gangs and drug cartels that take place within the United States. With legalization, it would not only make getting marijuana safer, but make it safer to use as well. As we wrap up on everything we talked about today, you can see that all of the advantages of legalizing marijuana are very important. To recap, we talked about the medical advantages, the economic boost it would provide, and how there would be safer use with better regulations. I hope you all can see that all of the advantages of legalizing marijuana outweigh all of the disadvantages. Thank you.